Good afternoon and welcome to the Tennessee State Funding Board meeting for June 23rd, 2025. I will call the meeting to order and recognize the presence of a physical quorum. As we begin today, I will ask Sandy if we have had any requests for public comment.
There have been no requests for public comment.
Very good. First up on the agenda today is consideration for approval of minutes from the May 19th, 2025 meeting. Members, I hope you took time to go over those before you arrived today. Do we have a motion and second?
So moved. Second.
Have a motion properly seconded for consideration of the minutes. Do we have any questions or discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please respond by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, like sign. The item is approved. Next up on the agenda today, we have a report from the Department of Economic and Community Development for approval of funding for 3 fast-track projects. And members, unless there's any objection, we'll take them all and then collectively approve them at the end. We have Commissioner Recorder come up, and I know you have others with you that will be presenting. So come on down, and you are recognized. Alan Borden, Jessica Jones, Jamie Stitt. I'm reading off my list. Okay. Okay.
Well, who is this young lady?
Okay, you just push that button. I will, so this is Stephanie Burnett, but I'll ask her to introduce herself since she's a new face to you all.
Yeah, Stephanie, you're not on my list, but you're very welcome.
I'm a replacement for Jessica on your list. I'm
Yes.
Stephanie Burnett, and I'm a Budget and Financial Operations Administrator with ECD.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, board members. Thank you for having us. As you said, we have 3 projects, but before we get into that, I will ask Stephanie to walk through the financials.
And if you all will kind of lean into the microphone or pull it a little closer to you when you speak. Thank you.
As follows is the Fast Track Financial Report. The previous Fast Track balance as of the last meeting is $658.9 million. New appropriations, $6.2 million. Newly deobligated funds, $4.9 million. Fast Track grants approved greater than $750,000, $5.5 million. Fast Track grants approved less than $750,000, $698,000. Fast Track administration, $109,000, giving us an adjusted Fast Track balance available of $663.7 million. Total amount of commitments, $529.2 million, giving us an uncommitted Fast Track balance of $134.5 million, and a percent committed of 79.7%. The amount of the proposed grants today is $3.3 million, which would give us an uncommitted Fast Track balance, if the proposed grants are approved, of $131.2 million and a percent committed of 80.2%. Thank you.
Thank you for that report. Members, any questions? Seeing none, keep going.
Okay, thank you. So as you said, we have 3 projects. The first is in Bradford, Tennessee, Gibson County. Tier Rack LLC, founded in 1955, Tier Rack has been an industry leader in innovative rack solutions and flexible warehouse racking systems for over 6 decades. Tier Rack is one of the few stack rack companies in the United States that sells 100% American-made products. Tier Rack will double its current headcount as part of its expansion in Tennessee. And to better serve dealers and small to mid-size OEMs, the company will establish a quick response manufacturing cell in a newly renovated 33,000 square foot facility located in Bradford. The Tier Rack LLC has committed to create 99 net new jobs and make a $7.1 million capital investment within 5 years. The company has an average hourly wage of $29.50 for these new jobs, which is comparing to the county median wage of $18.50 an hour. Fast Track Economic Development Grant funds will help offset expenses such as building expansion, retrofit improvements, and fixture improvements for a total of $1 million. The second project is Howmet Castings and Services, Howmet Corporation, and Howmet Aerospace, Inc. in Morristown, Hamilton County. Howmet Aerospace is a global provider of advanced engineered solutions for the aerospace and transportation industries. The company specializes in jet engine components, aerospace fastening systems, airframe structural components, and forged wheels in commercial transportation. Howmet is part of the Engine Products business segment, which is a leading supplier of investment castings in the form of airfoils and structural components for leading jet engine turbine, aerospace, and defense OEMs and large-scale gas turbine OEMs. This expansion allows the company to expand their ceramic core production capabilities in their Morristown facility. Howmet Corporation and Howmet Aerospace has committed to create 267 net new jobs and make a $27.9 million capital investment within 5 years, and have an hourly wage of $20.52 for these new positions compared to the county median wage of $18.35 an hour. Fast Track Economic Development grant funds will help offset expenses such as building expansion, retrofit improvements, and new building construction for a total of $1.4 million, just over $1.4 million as part of that Fast Track funds. The third project, another in Hamlin County in Morristown, is Summertown Metals of Morristown, LLC. Summertown Metals is a leading provider of high-quality metal building solutions for pole barns and barndominiums. Founded in 2006, Summertown Metals is a Tennessee-based company that has expanded from a single building materials supplier into a quality custom building materials distributor. The expansion of East Tennessee will allow the company to better meet customer demand, providing additional space for metal roll forming, both wood and steel truss manufacturing and warehousing and distribution. Summertown Metals of Morristown has committed to create 170 net new jobs and make a $22.6 million capital investment within 5 years, and will have an average hourly wage of $27.86 an hour compared to the county median wage of $18.35 an hour. Fast Track Economic Development grant funds will help offset expenses such as new building construction for a total of $800,000. And that completes my report on new projects.
Very good. 3 exciting projects there. Members, any questions or discussion as they were described? I have 3 questions. Commissioner, do the companies that sign the incentive acceptance forms fully understand the agreements?
Yes, they do.
Have the checklist been completed for each of the 3 projects?
Yes, sir.
And do all 3 projects include accountability agreements which provide protections to the state in the event the entity cannot fulfill their end of the deal?
Yes, they do.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Members, do we have a motion and second for consideration? Have a motion properly seconded for consideration of the 3 items as described. All those in favor, please respond by saying aye. Aye. Like sign, the item is approved. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Next up, we have a presentation and consideration for approval of the Tennessee Housing Development Agency's schedule of financing for fiscal year 25-26. Michelle Bosch is here to present. Come on down, welcome, and you are recognized.
Thank you, sir. I'm Michelle Bosch. I am the Chief Financial Officer for THDA, and I am here on behalf of our team and our board to request approval of our schedule of financing for fiscal 26 in an amount not to exceed $550 million.
Very good, thank you. Do you want to elaborate on that at all, or just that request? Do you?
Yeah, so the $550 million maximum will go to fund mortgage for first-time home buyers in the state of Tennessee. And we will do that through 2 mortgage revenue bond program financings, which we plan to issue in the early fall of this year. We plan to issue one portion of it, and then the other portion we plan to issue in the late winter, early spring of 2026.
Thank you very much. Members, you have heard the proposal outlined. Do we have a motion and second for consideration?
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Do we have any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the item as presented, please respond by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, like sign. The item is approved. Thank you very much. Next, we have consideration and approval of a resolution allocating from the Debt Service Fund to the Capital Projects Fund $154,564 and the cancellation of authorized bonds. Sandy Thompson, you're recognized for presentation on this item.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So the state provided funding through the commercial paper program for the University of Memphis to purchase sites and existing structures in accordance with their master plan. University of Memphis has repaid the borrowing in the amount of $154,564, and a like amount of general obligation bonds have been canceled. So this resolution cancels those bonds for the University of Memphis 101 Properties Project in that amount, and this resolution shall be effective today, June 23rd, 2025.
Thank you very much. Members, you have heard the description of the item. Do we have a motion and second for consideration?
So moved.
Have a motion properly seconded. Any questions or discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of the item, please respond by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, like sign. The item is approved. Next up on the agenda, we have consideration for approval of a resolution certifying special revenues as required by TCA 99104B. Sandy Thompson, you're again recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So the state has covenanted with its bondholders that it will not decrease the special tax revenues that have been pledged for the payment of principal and interest on its debt unless the State Funding Board certifies by resolution, as required by 99104B, the following. All payments due pursuant to statute have been made in full. The state is not in default in payment of any outstanding debt. And fees and taxes pledged pursuant to TCA 99104 will be sufficient to provide funds adequate to meet all payments required to be made by the State Funding Board for this fiscal year or this upcoming fiscal year, 25-26. So included in your information in the board materials is the resolution as well as the memo from the Commissioner of Finance and Administration.
Very good. Thank you very much. Members, do we have a motion and second to approve this item?
Second.
We have a motion properly seconded. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the item as presented, please respond by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, like sign. The item is approved. Next, we have consideration for acceptance of the Tennessee Consolidated Retirement System affirmation of standby commercial paper purchase agreement. Sandy Thompson, you're recognized for presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So the comptroller received a letter from the Chief Investment Officer of TCRS that's addressed to the Secretary of the State Funding Board that affirms that it does not plan to terminate its contract prior to July 1, 2026 to serve as a standby purchaser under the state's commercial paper program. There is a draft letter in your board package from the Secretary of the State Funding Board to the Chief Investment Officer of TCRS that affirms that the State Funding Board also does not plan to terminate this contract prior to July 1, 2026, and requests to submit this letter to affirm that the State Funding Board will not terminate the contract.
Thank you very much for that description. I'll make a motion that we accept the letter from TCRS and authorize the comptroller to notify TCRS on behalf of the board and to execute and send a letter to TCRS and affirm that the SFB, the State Funding Board, will not terminate the contract. We have a motion properly seconded. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the item as presented, please respond by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, like sign. The item is approved. Next up, we have consideration for approval of an update to the Tennessee Budget Manual for Local Governments. We have Steve Osborne from the Comptroller's Division of Local Government Finance coming to present. Steve, you're recognized. You got to turn that microphone on by pushing that button and lean into it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Our budget manual is being updated to add our new online budget submission process, to add additional examples of conditional budget approvals, to add new financial health metrics for our utilities and for cities that do not levy a property tax but have debt outstanding. And that's it.
Thank you very much. The Comptroller's Office is staying with the times by providing an online portal for budget submission, which is, I think, an advancement that's going to help everybody. I'll make a motion. We approve the changes Steve described. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion properly seconded. What about questions? Hearing none, Ms. Secretary?
Do you want to walk through all the changes?
Sure.
I'm kidding.
Okay.
I was going to say, I thought he did there, kind of, but unless there's one I'm forgetting. All those in favor of the item as presented, please respond by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, like sign. The item is approved. Next up, we have consideration for approval of updates to the Tennessee Debt Manual for local governments. Once again, Steve Osborne, you are recognized.
Thank you. The debt manual is being updated to reflect the changes necessary to implement Public Chapter 17, 170, and 218. These include the addition of emergency utility cash flow revenue anticipation notes, the approval of heightened risk debt, and the reporting of certain defaults, covenant violations, and credit rating downgrades.
Thank you very much. I do think that was a description of the changes. I'll make a motion. We accept the item. Do we have a second? Second. Have a motion properly seconded. Any questions or discussion? If not, all those in favor of the item as described, please respond by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, like sign. The item is approved. Next up, we have consideration for approval of updates to the following Tennessee State Funding Board guidelines: the debt reporting by public entities, the debt reporting by industrial development boards, and the requirements, objectives, and best practices for adopting a debt management policy. Steve Osborne, you're recognized for presentation.
Thank you. All of the proposed updates result from the recently passed legislation, Public Chapter 17, requiring local governments to report debt defaults, covenant violations, and credit rating downgrades to the Comptroller's Office, and Public Chapter 218, requiring local governments to receive approval from the Comptroller prior to issuing debt with risks associated with variable rates, various variable interest rates, put options, and interest rate resets.
Very good. Members, you have heard the item as Steve described it. I'll move passage. Do we have a second?
Second.
The item has a proper second. Any questions or discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of the item, please respond by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, like sign. The item is approved. Next on the agenda today, we have consideration for approval for removal of the Tennessee State Funding Board guideline blanket exemption under the Anti-Kicking the Can Act. Steve Osborne, you're recognized for description of the item.
Thank you. This waiver is no longer needed after the effective date of Public Chapter 17, which is July 1, 2025. The passage of Public Chapter 17 moves the approval of put option debt from the Balloon Indebtedness Act to a separate section of statute under heightened risk debt. And the Public Chapter 17 also includes all the departments of the federal government. So therefore, the waiver is no longer needed due to Public Chapter 17.
Thank you very much. I will move that, in keeping with Steve's description, that we remove this guideline effective July 1st, 2025. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion properly seconded. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the item as described, please respond by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, like sign. The item is approved. Next, we have notification for approval of Federal Emergency Management Agency notes, specifically for the town of Irwin and McNairy County. Unless there are any objections, Steve can describe both, and we'll take them as one. Seeing no objection, Steve, go ahead and describe both.
Thank you. The Division of Local Government Finance has approved 2 FEMA loans for McNairy County in the town of Irwin in the McNairy County is $500,000 for their highway fund as an interfund loan, and the town of Irwin is for $3 million, both for cleanup after a disaster. McNairy County was tornadoes in April, and Irwin is flooding from last October. Both notes have a maturity of June 30, 2027.
Very good. Members, you've heard the items as described. Do we have a motion? I'll make a motion. Do we have a second for approval of these items?
Seconded.
We have a motion properly seconded for approval of these items. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the items as described, please respond by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, like sign. The item is approved. 13th on the agenda today, consideration for approval of revisions to the Tennessee State Funding Board's debt management policy. We'll ask Sandy Thompson to present.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. As you recall, we are required by the State Funding Board debt management policy to review the policy on at least on an annual basis. And staff has reviewed that this year, and we have made some non-substantive changes to it. So no substantive changes to note at this time.
Very good. Members, you have heard the item as described. I'll make a motion. We approve it. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second for approval. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of passage of the item as described, please respond by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, like sign. The item is approved. Next on our agenda today, we have consideration for approval of a revised declaration of trust for other post-employment benefits for the West Knoxville Utility District. Sandy Thompson, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So the West Knox Utility District previously presented its declaration of trust for OPEB, and it was approved at the State Funding Board meeting on November the 6th, 2023. At that time, Article 5 of the declaration named the members of the Board of Trustees by name. Since that time, there have been personnel changes at West Knox Utility District, so they have presented amendments to Article 5 to reflect the Board of Trustees by position name only. These revisions have been reviewed by the AG's office as well, and staff recommends this for approval.
Very good. Members, you've heard the item as described. I'll make a motion. We approve it. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. What about questions or discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of the item as described, please respond by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, like sign. The item is approved. The only thing left on the Funding Board agenda today is consideration of a motion to adjourn. I'll move we adjourn. Do we have a second?
Second.
Have a second, non-debatable. All those in favor of adjournment, please respond by saying aye. Aye. The meeting is adjourned. Thank you.